2 tickets to see
The band Unspoken.
Unspoken.
next Thursday night.
In late July of 1990, I found myself traveling to a small town in Oregon called Burns, the last city in southern Oregon before reaching the Alvord Desert area. That's me in 1990, Jim Ansley, director, producer, and videographer. I was heading to Burns to meet my friend Bill Weatherspoon and his 10-year-old son Miles. Bill, months before, had asked me to go with him, Miles and a few of his friends, to the Oregon desert to capture some footage of an art project they were going to be making there. That footage would be used in an art video he wanted me to produce. As I followed Bill's converted school bus south out of Burns, little did I know that what I was about to experience in the next 11 days would become a worldwide story. We camped that first night, and the next day started our 70-mile trip to the beginning of the Alvord Desert. That was hundreds of miles across itself. Once off the hard road, we still had 30 or 40 miles to drive through sagebrush on what appeared to be a wagon trail at best. That trail, Bill said, would lead us to Mickey Basin, a truly magical place, as he described it. Bill had used this trail many times over the years to reach remote areas of this desert where he would camp for weeks and sometimes months while painting skies and landscapes. The bus, which had been converted into a studio, was pulling Bill's pickup truck. I was following in my rented four-wheel drive Subaru SUV. The bus got stuck an hour after we left the hard road, and it took us several hours to free it from the sandy soil. Back on the trail, and with the sun slowly dropping in the west, Bill suddenly stopped again. I pulled to the side to see if he wanted to talk, but instead, to my amazement, I saw 8 wild horses crossing in front of the bus. I knew then this would be an adventure like no other I'd ever had before. We continued through the sagebrush and around a mountain to our left. The terrain opened up to reveal miles of flat land with no trees, only sagebrush surrounded by mountains, which had no vegetation, just gray and brown rocks that covered them. The trail ended as Bill moved onto a dry lake bed where we would make our main camp. After stopping on the edge of the dry lake bed, close to a stand of high sagebrush, Bill, Miles, and I stood and marveled at the scene in front of us. The dry lake bed stretched for several miles across the basin. The sun now was falling behind the mountains to the west, rimming them with a soft orange glow. Shades of blue sky and white clouds hung over the lake bed, encircled by mountains of brown, gray, and yellowish-orange colors. I was excited to be there, wondering what tomorrow would bring. Bill was right. This was a magical place.